What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Wolf's Den. Kick back and relax. We got a pretty good show ahead of us. Also, there's timestamps below if you guys want to jump around a bit. But let's just get into it. Let's get into the massive amount of news that we had this week. Starters, Wild Hearts got revealed. Definitely EA trying to go after the Monster Hunter craze. That's pretty entertaining. Definitely don't know where it's going. I mean, it looks like an interesting game. I don't know if it's my type of game, but you know. Might give it a try. Never know. Maybe it'll hit Game Pass. You know, we also got Google Stadia. They announced that they were shutting down in the beginning of next year with Google giving refunds. It was just shitty that they didn't mention it to any of the developers working on games for Stadia. That's pretty shitty. But you know, I don't know. I don't know about the Stadia. Anybody that really bought a lot on the Stadia platform is just. They just didn't see this coming, or maybe they like the niche of being able to stream everything, and I don't know, it's just didn't really add up to me as to why people even use Stadia. Or maybe, you know, there was a small percentage of people that had fairly good internet, but of what I've heard, even people that have amazing internet has poor latency issues when it comes to Stadia. So I'm not really too sure when it comes to that. I think maybe people are just not the smartest bunch, but you know, I didn't have any interest in Google Stadia. I thought it would be a cool idea if it worked, but it didn't. So, you know, and they made you, it wasn't like a service. It was like basically like GameStop on your TV, you know, that also streamed the games. So I didn't have really high hopes for that. But we also got Calisto Protocol. They had some interviews occur this week. One in particular that was pretty interesting to me about the AI. That was kind of awesome when you think about it. So it seems pretty advanced in the way that it doesn't always try to kill you, but it tries to psych you out, tries to make you kind of like Alien Isolation, if you ever played that game, where the alien can pop out of one vent and go into another, and you don't really know where he's coming from, and it builds tension. That sounds really awesome. It also sounds really challenging, so that should be fun. But yeah, that just sounds incredible. Cannot wait to play that game. But we also got Halo Infinite having a bunch of problems, as usual. You know, they basically say that, you know, the netcode issues are going to continue. That's highly disappointing. I think 343 is going to get the boot, or at least a lot of the management. I think Xbox is cleaning house, like I've said before, but you know, this is just ridiculous at this point. It's almost been a year and the game has not improved at really at all, to be honest. I mean, yeah, they did have a spike, I think, about 6 months in, but it's not really the servers and the matchmaking, the lobbies, you know, the game modes, they don't feel right, you know. The gameplay itself, it doesn't feel that bad. I guess maybe I'm not the biggest Halo nerd of them all, but I didn't think it played that bad. I thought it played pretty well on Halo terms, but apparently it has a lot of issues. A lot of these issues actually started up late August, I believe, so I don't know what the hell that's about. Like, where did these netcode issues come from? You know, that's very concerning, honestly, but you know, what are you gonna do? I'm not really playing Halo Infinite all that much lately anymore, just because it's been frustrating when you play a game mode and they serve you either the same maps over and over again, or the same combinations of weapons. So I can never get off of that carbine, and it's irritating because I hate sniping on Halo. I've always hated it. It's never been my thing. I just don't get into it. It's just not for me. And the fact I have to play over and over and over and over and over and over and over again, I mean, that's fucking frustrating, man. I don't want to play that shit, you know? It's just, there should be different Team Slayer options, because I love Team Slayer, but I don't want to go fucking, it would be like if Modern Warfare 2 had a quick scope only game mode. Like, yeah, that's good for the people that like it, but if you don't, what the fuck are you doing? You know, it's so insane. But you know, what are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? I'm just not gonna play a game. I'm not gonna play a game. That's all that happens. We also had a pretty big a pretty big news story that was kind of got the world in fire with this Horizon Zero Dawn remake in the works. It was a leak, so we don't really know if it's true, but it's probably true. I could see it happening. You know, I don't know what is up with Sony being a total cash grab recently, you know, but honestly, it just doesn't make sense. I talked about it in a recent video, so I don't want to go too in depth in it, but basically, I don't get it. I don't get where the fuck they're coming from with these remakes of games that aren't even old. Now, yes, The Last of Us, that was a pretty old game, I'll give it that, but we already had a remake on the PS4, or remaster, whatever you want to fucking call it, and it's just like, they're slightly altering the game, like literally, like almost these smallest minute details, and then you're gonna charge me $70 for it. I mean, that really does sound batshit. And then you took the multiplayer out of The Last of Us, so it's like, where's the fucking appeal? Where is the appeal in buying this game? You know, and then, you know, we jump forward to the Horizon Zero Dawn remake, and it's supposed to have a multiplayer in it, I guess, but I mean, that'll make it worth something at least, you know. But $70 is a little ridiculous unless it has some massive graphical upgrades and just, you know, just the mechanics in general get a fine tuning going. But I mean, if it doesn't and it looks exactly like the same, or if it just looks like Horizon Forbidden West, it's gonna be a massive fucking letdown. Like, just wait it out. Why are we, or just make a PS5 edition that's 60 frames per second, even though they already did that. Really, they updated the game to where you could get 60 frames per second on PlayStation 5. So what the fuck am I gonna buy this game for? If I don't get it. I don't get it. Unless this is just for people that missed out, they don't have the PS4 copy, you know, and they want to play it on the PS5. I get that, but then at the same time, $70 is a lot. At least do like 50, you know, 50. That would be pretty good. You know, I've heard people say $40. I think that's a little low, especially if it does have a multiplayer. I think 50 would be a nice spot, you know, especially if there are, you know, graphical upgrades, the mechanics. Then I could see it, but it's going to be a small niche of people that just never played Horizon Zero Dawn. That's literally all it's going to be. Is that really worth all this time? That's kind of like my main opinion on this, is like, there are so many games that we could be playing other than this. There's so many games. They're literally, you got the Sly Cooper games, you can make another Ratchet, well, Insomniac's kind of, they just got done with Ratchet and Clank, but you know, there's a shitload of properties. Killzone, Guerrilla Games could be making Killzone, a new reboot of that. You know, there's Resistance, bring Resistance back. You got all these new studios, and we're getting these remakes. It's a little ridiculous, and at this point, in time, it looks really bad for Sony, but I think within the next couple months, maybe even this month, we're gonna get a lot of announcements, a lot of reveals, trailers, because there has to be more than just Spider-Man 2 in 2023. There just has to be. You know, this cannot be the second year where, you know, we get like 2 games. That's a little disappointing, to be honest, but that might be what it is. That 100% might be where they're going with this, because you got Spider-Man 2, and we have this Horizon Zero Dawn remake. That's actually worse than this year, because at least this year we had Horizon Forbidden West, then we had The Last of Us remake, and then we have God of War Ragnarok. So that's 3 titles. One that's really you know, kind of like meh, not everybody's gonna go for it, and then 2 brand new ones. So I'm expecting at least maybe one more game, at least one more big title for next year. And if we don't have a third title, that is a dry year. That is really dry, you know. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and find out and see where that goes. But as of right now, Sony's not looking too hot, and that just looks like a cash grab. Another cash grab, speaking of, is Overwatch 2. A lot of players were disappointed in the launch, which I guess it had a lot to do with the DDoS hacking going on, and it's just a mess, because live service games already are they're a mess to launch with. They usually have a ton of issues, but then you tack on these hackers and everything, which I guess is upset fans, I guess, because they changed some things, and I guess a lot of people are upset about the progression. They don't like the progression. They don't like how you can, it takes 100 matches to get all the characters, but that's only for new players, so I don't really see a big deal with that. It's like a nice tool to get used to all the characters. That's not really a big deal to me. I don't really think the game is for me in particular. I played a little bit of Overwatch, but nothing crazy. I'm not really too big into it, but I'll check it out because it's free to play. For a free to play game, it doesn't look that bad. They look like they're hitting all the right notches. So I'll just have to wait and find out. I haven't even really looked into it yet, so maybe I'll do that this weekend. Look into Overwatch 2, tell you guys what I think. But this next one was pretty funny. This next news story that came out this week: Beyond Good and Evil broke the longest development time record, topping Duke Nukem Forever. And this is I don't know what to think of that. Now, I get it that development hell is a thing, especially when you're trying to release a game on the last generation of consoles, and then it takes forever. You end up in the next generation, and then you have to maybe even scrap all of this content to make it worthwhile. But I don't know. I feel like the game itself looked phenomenal. The concept of what they're going for, traveling to different planets, it looks massive. And obviously that's gonna take some time. So if it comes out and it's great, then it's all worth it. But if it comes out as a mess, that's just gonna be disappointing. So hopefully they're just taking their time. This is Ubisoft too. Ubisoft is a mess of a company right now, so hopefully they're getting all their gears in order, because I do want to see it. I haven't played Beyond Good and Evil in forever, and this one actually looks pretty impressive on not only graphically but gameplay wise. Just looks pretty awesome. I cannot wait. But that's probably not coming out until, I'm guessing, 2024. I'm gonna say a 2024 release. We're probably gonna get a lot of trailers and shit probably somewhere through next year, the end of next year. But yeah, that's just shocking. Hopefully it don't go down the same route as Duke Nukem Forever, but Duke Nukem Forever wasn't a complete dog shit game. If you have a sense of humor, it was playable for a little bit. But I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see where that goes. This next news story was it hit home with me. Really did, because I used to play this game a shitload back in the day. It's if you haven't played it, it's Black. So had to hit the fucking vape break. But no, Black was this, for the time I felt like it was really revolutionary, because it just had a lot of destruction elements that I never seen on the PS2. It was a PS2 game too. It wasn't like it was a PS3 game. And the graphics, looking back on it now, and the fact you couldn't aim down your sights, how we're all used to it now. Obviously the game is dated, but it was really impressive at the time. And I guess EA was in the works to make a sequel, and it sounded amazing. It had some upgrades, like they had co-op that they're gonna implement in the game, and you're gonna be able to revive people, crawl around and revive them. So they were going in a good direction, and I feel like EA never really got back into the FPS genre until, yeah, they have Battlefield that went off, but that's kind of been a little lackluster. And then other than that, you got Star Wars Battlefront and Apex Legends. That's their big hits. And Black could have really been something. I guess they were trying to be more realistic and get a really good sense of reality of what warfare is in the early 2000s. So that could have been really cool. I think, and if you haven't played it, I think Black is on Game Pass. I think you can download Black on Game Pass. So that's which I remember, I think I did last year, and I played through it. It was just nostalgic as fuck. I'm not really an Xbox. I didn't play the original Xbox as much. I think my cousin had one, so I played a couple games off of his Xbox, but didn't really play a lot. So when I launched it and it was the Xbox logo intro, from back in the day, I was like, I'm not used to this. I'm not used to the green. It looked pretty cool though, I'll give it that. But I really wanted to see a black sequel. Me and my dad used to always talk about it, like they never made another, and then this comes out. You know, it's like, oh, so they were gonna make one, they never did. That's bullshit. I'm calling bullshit, you know. But we also had some tweets from CD Projekt Red that went pretty viral. We have a Cyberpunk 2077 sequel codenamed Orion, and we also had some new Witcher games, a new Witcher trilogy in the works. And you know, that's all great and dandy, but right now I feel like, I don't know, I don't get why people are so goddamn forgiving. You know, I'm seeing everybody already jumping ship, just going right back onto their fucking boat, like, oh yeah, it's you know, we're gonna get this, and what can they do with Orion? And not like, dude, listen, fuck them. They fucked up. Let them kind of like wallow in their filth right now. They fucked up. The game is not better, and even if it is, which it probably is, you know, frame rate and, you know, specs, but the game took 2 years to get stable on next gen. You know, I'm not even counting last gen's probably still a mess, but you know, they fucked up. Now, me personally, I didn't have any issues, and I played on a PS4 Pro, so I am one of the few and far between people that have not had any issues with Cyberpunk 2077. But you know, it can't be that easily forgiven. Now, The Witcher, I can't wait to see another Witcher game. I cannot lie. It just is. It's a great franchise. Almost every one of the games is pretty flawless for the era that they were released in. You know, we also have they had a new IP, which I forget what the code name was, but people were wondering what that could be. It could literally be anything. We have no idea. We'll just have to wait. But yeah, I mean, Cyberpunk, I wasn't really expecting anything from Cyberpunk 2077 for a while. I don't even like the name 20, like, is it always going to be 2077, or are they ever going to go 2078? How are they going to do it? You know, I'm curious on that. But other than that, I don't really care until they put the game out and it's pretty cool. You know, it's like Bethesda. People have grown to just accept that whenever Bethesda puts out a game, it's going to be janky. No matter what game it is. You know, they're talking about Starfield possibly getting another delay. And I'm like, okay, fine, delay it, do what you gotta do, but if this fucking game comes out and it's a little even janky, I don't want janky anymore. You know, I don't know if it's just the engines that people like, these developers are using, like the Cyberpunk engine and the Fallout 76 engine that Bethesda just won't leave behind. You know, these engines, I don't know if they're just shit and they don't want to make a new one. I have no idea. I'm not a game developer at all, but what the fuck is the fucking problem that Bethesda hasn't released a pretty decent game, at least an open world game? You know, I think Wolfenstein and Doom, they're pretty, and what was the other one? Dishonored, they all did pretty well, but whenever they did a massive open world game, like an RPG, Fallout, Skyrim, they just seemed half-baked, you know, and that's just, I'm getting tired of that. I really am. Like, I love Fallout, but I was playing Fallout 4 and I'm like, this shit isn't like that. Like, this is a 16 game and it just doesn't look it, you know? So I don't know. I just think, I think we need to stop forgiving these goddamn developers, because they're getting away with too much, and it's making it so we don't have great games. Like, we haven't had a Fallout game in forever because of that shitty ass Fallout 76. We should be demanding a new Fallout game that's good, but we're not going to get that until after Elder Scrolls, and we're not getting Elder Scrolls until after Starfield, which we're not getting until 2024. And it's like everything's just leaving us. Like, we're not even going to get to play video games until we're in our fucking 30s, 40s, and then we'll be like, oh nice, there's the games we were waiting for. And that's just bad shit. That, like, and that's reality. That could be real. We could be fucking 10 years away from or not 10, probably like 8 years away from a new Fallout, and that's literally bad shit. I hate that concept, man. I don't know what the fuck's going on. But we also got this cool little thing. The Medium is getting a TV show adaptation. that is interesting because I feel like the game wasn't really, I don't know, it just didn't gel well with me, you know? Even like just the horror aspects kind of were a little shaky, you know, with the monsters and stuff. But I think the concept of having two worlds on top of each other plays well with a TV show or a movie versus a video game, you know. But it was cool that they tried it, but obviously hopefully this TV show, you know, does more for the IP than the video game, or maybe they just got to fix a couple of things for the sequel. Who knows? Because I know the Evil Within versus the Evil Within 2 is like night and day. You know, the sequel was so much better than the first, so maybe we just gotta wait. I don't know if that's an Xbox property or not, but it did exclusively go to Xbox like 8 months before PlayStation, so I don't know what's up with that. So, but we also had the Steam Deck is no longer in reserves, so that's interesting. I think the Steam Deck is going to become wildly popular in the coming years, especially next year. I think next year is going to hit off really well for the Steam Deck, and that's just impressive because this is the first physical hardware release that Valve has put out that's been pretty successful, you know. So this could spawn a Steam Deck 2. This could do a lot, and I'm really interested to see where this goes. I personally haven't picked one up yet. Not really a huge handheld player in general, to be honest. Like if I'm playing Steam, I'm playing it on my PC. That's just how it goes. And if I'm playing anything on my consoles, I'm in my living room. That's just how I do my thing. So it doesn't really apply to me, and it is kind of pricey. So I don't know. It just isn't for me. I'm not a huge handheld person, but I'm glad they're doing well. I'm glad Steam Deck is kicking ass because I think that they need to drive some competition up into Nintendo's ass, because Nintendo it's like they're okay with having the bare minimum, and maybe the Steam Deck will change that. That would be very interesting to see. Maybe even the Steam Deck could make like like something that you could hook your TV up to, possibly, kind of like how you have the dock, which I think that's coming soon, actually. So we have to keep our eyes open for that. But if that happened, that's a game changer. That's a game changer, because then I could just hook it up to my TV, and at that point you could play whatever is on Steam on your TV. That's incredible, because I got a pretty good monitor, but it don't beat 70-inch TVs. It just doesn't. And I mean, depending on who you are, some people like the monitor, you know, being real close to the monitor, getting, you know, all the accurate kill shots and shit. But kill shots, headshots. But a TV would be awesome. I would love to hook the Steam Deck up to a TV and play some of those games, because they do have a lot of games. I have a shitload of games on my Steam account, so that would be interesting. This is also Steam news, sort of. Dead Space is not going to require an Origin link for PC, so that's awesome. I've known Origin to be so tedious and frustrating for so many of my PC friends, and that's a good one. I think they really want to kick off Dead Space. Like, Dead Space is something that EA knows needs to be decent. Like, this is one of their only properties that's unique. Like, they don't have a lot of horror games. They don't have a lot of third-person games in general anymore, it feels like. So, I mean, this is definitely needs to be a hit, and I think with the trailers and the gameplay and the comparison videos, it's looking to be really awesome. So, I can't wait for it. I mean, Callisto Protocol and Dead Space, that's going to be that's right now kind of like the hottest drama in gaming, because I mean, obviously if you're losing sleep over Call of Duty, that's your thing, but I mean, there's nothing really else coming out that's kicking up a storm. I mean, and in a competition sense as well. I mean, there's nothing really coming out that's competing with each other directly. I mean, God of War Ragnarok is coming out in November, and that's just gonna crush everybody. Like, Sonic's fucked, but I mean, that's gonna be a fun month. I think it's gonna be interesting to see how games sell. But other than that, I mean, you have Callisto Protocol versus Dead Space. That's gonna be a fucking battle of the decade, you know, just to see who prevails, you know. So have to wait on that. And then today we also had the Need for Speed Unbound reveal trailer. As I said in today's video or yesterday's video, it was just, the gameplay looks good. You know, the cars look good. I've heard there's a lot of car models that are really interesting in the game, but it's just the cartoony aspects and the animation style doesn't look terrible. You know, it's just, I want to see how it is in game and, you know, really try it out. But it's nice that they're mixing it up. It's nice that they're just trying something new. You know, I feel like the last 3 Need for Speed games have been like copy and paste almost. So this is a nice direction. I didn't expect it to come out this year. I honestly did not expect it. I mean, it's so batshit. That's less than 2 months. Is that how gaming's gonna go now? Is it just gonna be like less than 2 months? You announce your game in fucking the beginning of October or mid-October and release early December? That just sounds insane, you know. And for not having a lot of games coming out, that seems like, you know, news is gonna fucking die. You know, no one's gonna be reporting on shit if everybody went that route. I just don't understand why they did. I don't know why they didn't reveal this at Summer Games Fest or any of the fucking game showcases over the summer. You know, like, what happened? What happened? You know, why are you just revealing this now? You know, why didn't you put this in a PlayStation State of Play or something, you know, or Xbox's Tokyo Game Show? I don't know. Maybe that wouldn't have fit, but you know what I mean. Also, yesterday we got the new NetherRealms Project tweets, which I don't know. I don't even know what the fuck I want from them at this point. I know it's not going to be another Mortal Kombat. That's probably a little ways down the road, you know, but I definitely think we're going to get an Injustice game. I think that's what we're going to get. But what I really want is if they could ever make a Marvel versus DC, that would crush the fucking charts. I don't know if they can, if it's an IP, you know, problem. I don't know, but that would be really fucking that would be amazing, like, hands down. Now, I don't know if Injustice, the gameplay style, like, I don't really like it as much. I can't remember if the second one was too much different than the first, but I remember going back to the first when I got my PS5 and I seen that it was in my library, so I just downloaded it, played it for a little bit, and I'm like, this game is, how the fuck do you block? And then you figure out the only way to block is to just back up, and then I was just like, this seems dated as hell. I don't remember, is the second one like this? And I honestly still don't remember. But if they were to do Marvel versus DC, they need to update the gameplay a little bit. Just make it Mortal Kombat style. I don't know what the problems with that, but yeah, that would be so awesome. I don't know what the IP licensing, who has it, but if you could do a Marvel, like, just do a collaboration. Go to Capcom and be like, hey, listen, okay, we have the fucking DC shit, you got the Marvel shit, let's combine our shit, let's see what happens, let's see what we can make of this, my friend. You know? So I don't know. Gotham Knights also received mixed impressions yesterday, which was I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know where they're going with Gotham Knights, and honestly, I don't know what they expected. I said it in yesterday's video. I don't know what they expected. If you take Batman out of it, and then they also, I heard, made Gotham City kind of more plain looking. It doesn't look like the Arkham Knight, how it's kind of vibrant and like just looks dope, you know. But, and also the gameplay, the gameplay look, it just didn't feel right. People have said the skill trees makes the gameplay also feel a little wonky. So I don't know what's going to happen with this game. I think it's going to be a bomb, to be honest. I don't think it's going to be well received. And that's just sad. You know? And it's like, what the fuck were you thinking? You know? Gotham Knights, you know, you at least get the gameplay right. Get some good gameplay, and you aced it, you know? You aced it. So hopefully they can turn that shit around. But that's really all the gaming news that came out this week, or at least the highlights. So I only have one I don't even know what to call this. I just put Hollywood news, but I'm not sure that's what I wanted it to be called. That sounds fucking lame. But no, just, you know, when it comes to films, we only got one thing that I really looked at. That was the Black Panther trailer. They showed off a bunch of shit. You know, I'm skeptical. I don't know how good the movie's gonna be. I don't know if I'm gonna like what the fuck's his name? What is his name? The fucking water guy. You know what I'm talking about. The Submariner, I think his name is. But I don't know how that's gonna go. I don't know if he's gonna play it well or not. He could very well be a great Submariner. I hope I'm saying the right name. Let's just see. Oh, we got you here.
Welcome back.
Oh my god. Namor. Namor the Submariner. Yeah. I fucked your name up, bud. But but yeah, Namor, I don't know if they're gonna do great. We'll just have to wait and see. But when it comes to Ironheart, that just don't gel well with me, you know? Like, that's a horrible replacement for Tony. I think they could have did it better. Maybe age her a little bit, if anything. She looks really young, you know? For a 19-year-old too, they could have did anything, you know? So that's a little disappointing. I can't wait to see it, but I'm very worried. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes, you know? Like, I'm worried. You know, and if this movie bombs, I think Marvel is gonna do a restructure. I think they really will, because this is a huge movie. They got the Chadwick Boseman kind of like ball rolling for them. You know, a lot of hype surrounding that. So I think if this flops or this just underperforms in any way, I think there's gonna be some massive changes going on. You know, regarding a lot of this woke implementations and all these things that could possibly be hurting the sales. But I mean, if you look at the box office, like a lot of the movies coming out, it's almost comical, because these production companies are stouting off how, you know, oh, we're at the number one of the box office. It's like, well, I just ran the numbers and it's only like 500,000 tickets were sold. That's pretty fucking pathetic if you ask me. I mean, we have a nation with about 320 million people, and you got not even a million, you know, not even over 500,000. That's a little disappointing, I feel like, you know. And they've said this is like the worst year for the box office. So that's, I think, hopefully, I don't know. It's be interesting to see where movies go next year, especially now that, you know, production is kind of like resumed post-COVID. So I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and find out. Hopefully Black Panther is a decent movie. But what we've been watching, we just saw Smile this week. I have an impression video drafted, but honestly the movie was disappointing, so that's why it's been taking forever. So I don't really want to talk too much on it, but the movie was a disappointment. Wouldn't recommend it, but if you could, you know, stream it or whatever the case may be, go right ahead. It had a couple of cool parts in it, but overall pretty disappointing. Luckily it wasn't a super long movie, so that's cool. We're gonna watch Hellraiser tonight on Hulu, see if it compares to the OG, which it probably won't, but you know, I can't wait. Hopefully it's good. Hopefully it is good and just ominous, and they do a couple things right that I'm hoping. But I'll let you guys know how that goes. We finished the Dahmer show too. It wasn't bad. I think it could have had more gore, but I think they were just they thought it'd be too much, and I think it honestly probably would have been too much for everybody, because the fucking show already got criticized to hell just off of nothing. I mean, not nothing, but you know, they were saying that the victims didn't get portrayed well. I'm like, they gave backstories on a lot of the victims, you know, and they showed the court case pretty thoroughly. I don't really get the hate on that. And then they said, you know, the show needs to be taken, the LGBTQ tag needs to be taken down, and I'm just like, man, why? Because this is negative. You don't want the LGBTQ to be in a negative light, you know? It's like, no, this is like, how the fuck can you do that? Like, you had your people, that's your people. They were getting murdered on a pretty decent scale, you know, and you just want to, no, that's not us. That's not us. We don't want that representation. It's like, that's fucked up and you think about it. But, you know, I'm not going to get into all that, but damn, you know, so I think if they made it more gory, probably wouldn't have went as well with people. Like, it's a big hit right now, and I think that's the reasoning. If they would have actually showed him drilling in skulls and pouring acid, it would have been really bad. People would have definitely not been into it, like anybody that's squeamish, you know. But I'm sure the first 48 hours people would have loved it, so it's a mixed bag. We also watched the latest She-Hulk episode, which I feel like they totally did Daredevil dirty for this being his first appearance in the MCU as Daredevil. Totally did him dirty, which so far was the best action sequences the show has had at all, but they just did him dirty. They made, like, it was odd sometimes, and then how they kind of gave him like a sex scene with She-Hulk, that was a little awkward. You know, I've always thought if you're gonna do a sex scene in a comic book movie, you should just go full forward with it, you know, be the Watchmen of the world, you know, just show the titties, show the ass, show something. You're gonna make a sex scene, what the fuck is the point in just showing a little, like, some clothes on the ground and then that's it, you know? It just seemed a little weird. It seemed like it didn't fit, you know? Daredevil shouldn't have fit with that bitch, you know? It's like you lose respect for Daredevil and Charlie Cox, I think. That's fucking, I don't know. That show's just fucking terrible at this point, and they ended it like She-Hulk's all fucking angry and shit. I'm like, I cannot take you seriously. You're not angry. You haven't been angry this whole show, and every time you are, it's over something fucking stupid. So it's like, what the fuck? What the fuck am I watching, man? You know? Oh, and I get it. It's bad, and I'm literally just watching it out of spite, just to rag on it with my girl. But yeah, that's really bad show. Really bad show. But I also want to watch that Memory movie. I heard that was good with Liam Neeson, which a couple of his were a little meh. So I've been a little skeptical on some of his movies, but I heard Memory was good. It's about a hitman that's losing his memory. So that's that sounds fucking nuts. So I think that's on Amazon. Probably gonna check that out probably later tonight too. But we'll see. I haven't really been playing too much. Picked up my copy of Stray that was a couple weeks late from GameStop. So, you know, I like supporting GameStop, but yeah, goddamn, 2 weeks. At least it wasn't a huge game, and I think that's why it happened to be that way. But I've been waiting to play with my girlfriend. That's gonna be fun. I'm not the biggest cat guy. You know, we got a couple cats, but you know, it's not terrible. But when it comes to a game, the game cannot be that entertaining. At least it isn't. I think it's only like 7 hours long, so at least it ain't like forever to get through this cat game. But definitely want to check it out. Haven't installed, haven't played it yet. It's only like 7 gigabytes, which was kind of shocking. If the graphics really are as good as they look on the trailers, I was expecting, you know, at least like 15, 20, you know, but I don't know. Anyway, guys, that's been the show. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join the Wolf Pack. Peace.